Since the conflict broke out in March 2015, the country has turned to be a hell for the Yemeni children. Almost 13 million children are in a bad need for humanitarian assistance. 2 million are out of schools. Most of those children have started to work as to help their families survive. The following report has more details on this.
Ma'rib is crowded with dozens of children who have been displaced from different Yemeni governorates in a social mixture brought together by poverty and displacement from the flames of the war of the Houthi militias. These children hold bottles of water to display to passers-by and vehicle drivers.
I'm displaced from Taiz, and now I'm in Ma'rib. I just want to collect money and support my family.
These children hold bottles of water to display to passers-by and vehicle drivers to support their families. Dozens of children lie on the main streets and under the traffic lights just to look for any source of income to help their families. This has become a heavy burden on the families in displacement camps.
Children are really suffering. They had to drop out of school, families are displaced, and children are trying to help their parents, especially with hard economic conditions. So these children are forced to work either at restaurants or street begging.
Despite the risks that street vendors face from traffic accidents and theft of other things, and their exposure to several violations, these risks are not compared to the suffering of hunger and poverty that surrounded the displaced families in Ma'rib.
Houthis are the main reason why these poor children are working. In their areas of control, they recruited children. And here, in the liberated areas, the children are working due to the suspension of salaries, poverty, unemployment, and the hard living conditions.
Hardly the streets of Ma'rib is free of children carrying water bottles or tissues in their small hands and begging money in return amid the many dangers surrounding them. The humanitarian organizations and concerned authorities do not overlook the fate of a rising generation who dropped out of school and did not have any other option but to support their families.